Welcome to Thursday's edition of Holy Week, where we have been walking through the last week of Christ leading to the crucifixion and his resurrection. And so on Thursday, we're not sure all what happened during the day, but in the evening, he and his disciples met in a room to partake of Passover. Now, there were certain customs of Passover, and this is why I'm on the ground and I'm barefooted, and that might seem a little bit or maybe a lot weird to you. But this is how the Bible says that they were to eat the Passover meal reclining, and so they were like this. Well, that would cause a problem, especially if you've been walking around in a dirty, dusty area. Your feet, which just had sandals on, would get filthy. And that's why it was the custom of the day when you entered a person's home to have supper, you would have your feet washed. Now, it was the lowest of the servants who got that distinguished job. Because listen, without washing their feet, as people reclined, the next person's head would be right about here, right next to my stinking feet. And so as you reclined and ate, something would smell a little bit fishy, and it was probably Peter's feet. And so before they would eat, they needed to wash feet. So the disciples are looking around, and there's no servants around, and they're like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, And then the Bible says that Jesus, knowing who he was, got up, took off his outer tunic, and then got the basin and the water and started washing the disciples' feet. And so he would take one disciple's foot at a time and wash it and wipe it dry. Proceeding on to the next, and then the next, and then the next. Now, Peter did give some opposition there. But then they were ready for the meal. And oh, what a special meal. In fact, I would like you to prepare yourself to have this with the believers in your home. Because it was around this meal, this Passover, that had meaning, that had been for over 1,000 years of talking about the deliverance that came by God through Moses. But then Jesus changed the meaning. He took a couple of the elements and presented them in a whole new light. He said, this bread is my body, broken for you. Take and eat it in remembrance of me. And then he took the cup. And he held it up and blessed it and said, this is my blood of the new covenant. Drink it in remembrance of me. Jesus knew what the next day would bring. He knew it meant his death. But that his death had a purpose. That his body would be brutally beaten for them. That his blood would be shed for their sins, making a way for us to have a relationship, a new covenant, a new way of meeting with God, not by our works, but by the work that Jesus did. I would like to encourage you, and that means watching this video again with your family, getting some bread, and getting some juice, and together partaking in the Lord's Supper, remembering Him on this night that He first initiated it, so that it would bring meaning to His death. You have a blessed Thursday of Holy Week.